That logo music just gets you pumped, right? 2025 was the year where the comic book movie kinda died. But Tyler, I am here today to tell you 2026 will be the year where comic book movies are reborn.
In Tommy's eyes, in his warped perception of the superhero universe in films, the genre has only been dead for 6 months. Whereas for everybody else, it died probably at the end of Endgame.
In 2019?
Yeah.
Yeah, after Endgame, yeah. Okay, so, no, I only jest. I know that the comic book movie genre as a whole is in dire straits. Captain America Brave New World was a train wreck of a movie. Thunderbolt was actually quite good, and we reviewed it, and we had fun
It was
with it.
fine.
But, was fine. Fantastic Four was also kind of fun, but not as memorable as we had hoped.
It was okay.
It was okay. Well, Tyler, just stop. Just let me do my thing. You're being too negative.
You have to
already.
do Superman as well.
Apparently, Superman was fun.
Yeah, it was okay. No,
Okay.
Fantastic Four and Superman were decent.
Yeah, apparently, Fantastic Four was the least rewatched Marvel movie. Like once it came to Disney Plus, not many people have watched it, and that could be for a number of reasons. So I won't speculate as to why. But speaking of Disney Plus, even on TV, things were not good in 2025. If you can believe that, Tyler.
Whoa. How come?
Ironheart was released in 2025.
But they had such strong characters with good fan bases behind them to pull in those audiences, didn't they?
Yeah, well, Ironheart was very forgettable and not very many people watched it. Daredevil Born Again was a bigger success. They're actually doing a season 2. But it was kind of good and bad at the same time. Like it had a lot of problems. Yeah, so why are we doing this? What are we doing right now? I haven't pitched this video yet, but basically one of our first recordings last year that we ever did was about the state of the MCU at the time and the upcoming Marvel projects that we were looking forward to, or, in the case of Tyler and more accurately to the rest of the world, I was looking forward to, and you were kind of dreading or not caring about it all.
That's how I think. That's how I think these conversations are more like accurate. If you're talking about more like the end of the MCU or the end of the current DCU, it makes more sense because I feel like the superhero films as a genre in themselves are so expansive. I don't think you'll ever see like the death of that because you can always have a standalone fucking Batman film that's separate from everything.
It ebbs and flows.
Yeah, for sure. And it's a medium rather than a genre in itself because it spans so many things.
Exactly. Thank you so much. Because I do believe, looking back, that 2025 was kind of like a buffer year for Marvel, and that 2026 will actually be the make or break year. And I'm using these words carefully. Like this could be a great year or like the year where we actually finally put the nail in the coffin. This is over. Pack your bags. Marvel is done. Let's move on.
Yeah.
So I thought it'd be fun to go over the projects that are coming out and kind of like gauge how much or how little you are interested in them, since you are kind of like my audience for this kind of stuff. And there's a lot of stuff coming out this year.
Oh boy, that stuff. Give me the stuff.
This could be the year that Marvel is reborn in the eyes of the larger public.
I thought you were going to say this could be the year of stuff.
This is going to be the year of stuff. That's for sure. That you're hearing that first here. This is the year of stuff. It could be the year where it definitely finally dies, or it's reborn in a new way thanks to all these things coming out. And I'm leaning more towards this second scenario, because I'm a hopeless optimist and I can't help it. So we have, in order of release, Wonder Man, that's about to drop on Disney Plus in January as time of recording. What do you know about Wonder Man?
I've seen a trailer and I'm aware of the concept of the show, and I'm certainly not going to be tuning in. And I know that Ben Kingsley's back for
Yeah,
whatever goddamn reason as like because he was a terrorist. He should be in prison for
yeah.
life, but now he's like an acting coach and he's out and about.
No, they find out that he wasn't the real Mandarin, and
I know, but he
they.
still enabled a terrorist though.
That's true.
And he got arrested. So, and he was in prison in like one of the one shots that they did ages
Yeah,
ago, didn't they? So,
yeah, yeah.
like, yeah, I know there's like a joke that the casting director. This is in the trailer of Wonder Man. She's like, he used to be an international terrorist, and it's like, well, yeah, he still is
If
technically.
you joke about it, you don't have to address it anymore.
Exactly.
That's the
That's
rule.
that's the MCU.
But yeah, I mean, I am not that interested in this project. I don't know the character of Wonder Man that much, but
No,
the
same.
trailer piqued my interest, and like, yeah, like I always do, I'm gonna check it out. If it's interesting in the first few episodes, I'm gonna keep watching. And yeah, I like the actor. He was in a bunch of stuff. Is good. I forget his name, unfortunately.
Yeah, yeah,
Um, yeah, there you go.
yeah. He
Yes,
he
yeah.
is good.
And like it could be fun to have like to explore what making a movie about superheroes is like in a world of superheroes that is not The Boys, because The Boys has a very specific vibe that the Marvel universe doesn't share really. So I don't know. It could be interesting, could be bad, who knows? At least they're trying to do something different. And maybe it sucks, but at least it's not.
In the same way that WandaVision, when that first came out, looked like it was going to be real different, bit more art house
Yeah.
kind of feeling. Maybe a bit more adult in like the themes and story it was exploring. But then it ended up with laser battles in the sky and fucking blue
Yeah.
laser and witch orbs and
That's the worst
ended
part of
ended
that
terribly.
show. Yeah, that the ending was terrible in general, like both as a climax and as the way to resolve the story. But we're not talking about the past, we're talking about the future, Tyler. And the future is about Daredevil Born Again Season 2 that's coming out in March. The first season, or well, the fourth season really of the Daredevil show.
And after being burned by the previous Daredevil, you're going to watch Born Again season 2, are you?
I love the character of Daredevil, so I cannot really avoid it. Like I will watch it just to be angry at it, I guess. Because season one had a lot of stuff that made me angry in the way they decided to treat the character, and it was a mess tonally because it was like produced and then scrapped, and then they did additional episodes, but they kept some of the stuff that they shot before, so it was very uneven in tone. But this second season could be better because there's not gonna be that unevenness that they had in the first one. Like they figured it out. They have a team now. They're doing it. They are, I don't know. Hopefully, again, like hopefully they finally understood how to make a fucking TV show. I mean, it's just their job. I think this is one of the few shows that actually has like a good like shot at being really good if they learned from the mistakes they made in the first season, but you never know. Anyway, we also have a new Spider-Man movie coming out.
So that'll be pre-Doomsday.
Spider-Man Brand New Day is coming out in July if they do not delay it, which might happen. They haven't released a trailer yet, which is weird for a movie that's coming out in like 7 months, not even. From the director of Shang-Chi, which I think, and I know you disagree, but is one of the better post-Endgame films. It was fine. This movie could be amazing or an insane clusterfuck with no in between, which is kind of a trend with these movies.
Yeah, it's a shame they
Uh,
didn't get. Is it like John Watts? Is that the
John Watts
guy?
did the first three, yeah.
Yeah, it's a shame they just couldn't get him back because, like, the Spider-Man films have consistently been. I think the second one's actually quite. It's a bit of a drop off from the other two for sure. But
Oh,
like,
but it still has a great
yeah, like
villain in Mysterio. Yeah,
that. Yeah, that's fine. But I just think the other two are really, really good. So
yeah,
and just
yeah.
like they
Agree.
have a clear style and yeah. So it's a shame that he's not coming back for it. But I
But
mean,
he
these
did
are
a trilogy, and now they're doing a new trilogy, I'm guessing.
yeah.
So
It might be
it's
a
good that
different
they have a
yeah.
new voice. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Uh,
It's just you worry that it'll be a bit more like committee run, but I think at this point,
oh my God.
all
I
these
mean,
films basically are anyway. You're a
they all are.
director for hire. Um,
There's so many characters in these, man. They announced that the Hulk will be in this, the Punisher is in this,
yeah,
probably Daredevil, I'm guessing, at least briefly. Sadie Sink of Stranger Things fame is playing someone. People are speculating on their identity. Could make sense for her to play Jean Grey or another X-Men character
I
since they're
think
going to be
I've
leaning
heard
into the
who
X-Men.
the character is.
It's not confirmed though, it's just rumors.
Is it just rumors? Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But I think people were speculating Jean Grey just from the casting announcement, but now people
Yeah.
are thinking it's like
It's
uh
an obscure Spider-Man
something
character.
Summers. No, something Summers. The
Oh,
daughter of
yeah. Yeah,
Jean
this
Grey
the
and Scott
daughter from
Summers.
another dimension. Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
which could that
Hope
sounds
Summers
yeah, that sounds like it could be accurate. I could see them
could be
doing
fun,
that. Yeah, yeah.
or
Yeah,
maybe she's just Mary Jane.
weird to introduce the X-Men in a Spider-Man film. That seems desperate. But
Well, dude, Spider-Man movies, they are the ones that sell. Everyone goes to watch a Spider-Man movie, and
I know. That's why they're doing it for sure. Yeah, for
that's the
sure.
reason why they did the multiverse thing in the No Way Home Spider-Man movie, because then everyone would be familiar with the idea of multiverses, and they can do it in all the other movies
Yeah,
too.
true, true. It's just you
So
would think also with that same logic, maybe save your big guns because you know Spider-Man will perform well, especially if it's got the Hulk in it as well and Punisher. Yeah, like introducing the X-Men is really going to bolster the film. To have it, they're just chucking so many eggs into this basket, I guess, and I'm sure
yeah.
it will pay off because the Spider-Man films always do well, except when they got Andrew Garfield and Paul Giamatti as a robotic rhino in it.
Yeah. And speaking of the X-Men, we have X-Men 97 season 2 coming out this summer as well. And I know you haven't seen it. It's an animation on
Yeah,
Disney Plus.
I checked it out. I might have watched an episode or two, and just I thought it was decent, and I love I grew up on the original
On the
cartoon
original.
series, and
Yeah.
just I feel like it was for me personally, it was better just left in nostalgia, and it just I will always love and revere that original series, and but I wasn't hooked to continue watching the 97.
That's fair. I was, and I watched it, and honestly, for me, it's the best thing Marvel Animation has put out, full stop, which is not saying much, because What If was a mixed bag, and they haven't done that many other
No,
animated
no.
projects. But X-Men 97, for me, especially in the second half, there's some very interesting things. It was fun, it was inventive, it was true to the characters. I adored it. And I'm definitely rewatching it before this new season comes out. So, hopefully this will be good too. And it will be another way for them to kind of like milk the X-Men before they introduce them proper in the movies too. Talking about animated stuff, Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man Season 2 is also coming out this year. Season 1 was, for me personally, a very nice surprise. I mean, I love Spider-Man. I check out stuff like this, and I would have not kept watching if it wasn't, in my opinion, a good show. I didn't really like it at first, but I stuck with it, and it really grew on me. Like, it's a fun adaptation of the character. It's well done. It's more kiddie for sure. Like, that's something that you need to keep in mind when you watch this. But it can be surprisingly brutal in parts, and the villains in season 1 are really good. I really liked Scorpion. Doc Ock is in it briefly, and it steals the show. Honestly, I'm really excited because, and I know it's not for everyone, but if you like Spider-Man, you have both Brand New Day and this coming out within like a few months of each other, it feels special. It feels like a Spider year, and I might finally buy the Spider-Man 2 game as well.
Yeah,
So
yeah, Brand New Day, which everyone will watch, and you have this come out, which nobody will watch.
there you go.
Yeah, no, it's
And
it's a niche. You know, I'm not going to check it out myself, but I am glad that they still put this kind of stuff out, and they don't just like throw all their resources into the things like the big MCU related like series or just the movies. Because yeah, like you know, you always have a chance that one of these things might be a real gem if you keep doing the more niche projects.
yeah, don't give up on a show after one season. Keep going, and you grow an audience, and maybe you do more interesting things with the story. First seasons of shows are always tricky, and Marvel has done this mistake before of not sticking with a show with a character for longer than 1 or 2 seasons. And I
Yeah,
think, with animation especially, they have an opportunity to flesh out these words, these alternate realities of
I
the
just
universe. Yeah.
I just wish they had a section of where they made more mature animated properties. You know, like even because things like that Marvel Zombies that they put out, was that last year that came out or the year
Yeah,
before?
like December.
Yeah, and like that kind of was marketed as if it was going to be a bit R-rated and mature, but it was not. It was full of like the silly humor and
I
like
haven't watched that.
Oh, it was bad. It was bad.
Yeah, I heard it was bad.
You know, and
And I
it's
don't
just
like that style of animation that they did
oh
for
yeah,
What If.
it's kind of ugly looking. And yeah, it has that kind of goofy imbalance of tone that's like very prevalent in Marvel stuff. So yeah, I would love to see us, the occasional just maybe even an animated feature film where this is completely separate from all their
Yeah,
other
like more of the
properties.
DC stuff that they've done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
DC's so much better when it comes to the animation.
Oh, absolutely. But I'm glad that you spoke about like R-rated stuff, because the next thing on my list is the Punisher special presentation they're doing. Do you know anything about this?
Nada.
So basically, every once in a while, Marvel releases like this special presentation thing on Disney Plus. They've only done a few. They're not like official movies, and they're not shows. They're like longer one-off episodes of Disney Plus stuff, since we're talking about stuff. So basically, what happened? They reintroduced John Bernthal's Punisher in the Daredevil series in Born Again season 1, right? He's a fan favorite. His show was really good, the Netflix one, in my opinion. And they are setting him up to be his new version of the character in the Daredevil universe. And I'm guessing they'll explore that further in Born Again season 2, but they also have this special presentation planned, which is also written by Bernthal, or like he has like a story credit. And it feels like it's gonna be this little fun one-off thing where they hopefully they can be a little bit more violent and gory and utilize the character like to its full potential, since the Punisher has always been a bit tamed in comparison to what he does in the comics. And Bernson seems to be very excited for this project, and I'm sure it's gonna pay well. But I get the impression that it really cares about the characters. Will you watch Vision Quest?
No.
That's the other one, the other show that is coming out.
The Disney Plus shows, something is going to have to be amazing, and it's going to have to be after it's finished. And I've heard good word of mouth to get me to go and watch, because I'm not tuning in for any of it.
Yeah, Vision Quest is a bit question mark for me too, and I don't think I'll watch it if the reviews are not stellar, like you said. On one hand, I like Vision as a character, and I'm curious to see what
Vision.
they do with him.
That was great.
And even
though WandaVision wasn't very good in the end, I was kind of intrigued to see where Vision's character was going to go after that, with the whole like White Vision fucking thing and all that stuff. But
they set up some cool stuff.
That was so long ago. Yeah.
WandaVision also came out at a time where we were all still very excited for Marvel stuff, and some of the misdirects and trolls in that show surely contributed to deflating.
It had the effects of the wider story still like seep through in the storyline, and you're feeling the knock-on effect of the blip and all that stuff. So it had so much goodwill, yeah, at that point.
Yeah, so like and they actually started, we start seeing the cracks in the fan base with this show, because we were paying attention to everything that was said. Oh my god, is this character that they mentioned gonna be
Oh my
Reed
god,
Richards?
yeah.
Or and then they resolve everything with a boner joke, so like people were,
The
okay,
theorizing around that show was wild. It was
it's
wild. So much better
but
than
it
what they ever came up with in the end.
absolutely. But if you look at the show in a vacuum, I think it's still very fun and intriguing, and they have a lot of fun with the TV show concept. And the ending is the worst part, as you mentioned. But I feel like they can do interesting stuff with this character. So I don't know. Vision Quest sounds like one of those shows that should have come out like 4 years ago, but for whatever reason, it's coming out this year, and that might hurt its performance on Disney Plus. For sure, it will hurt it. But if the reviews are good, I will check it out, as I do. But I feel like we've come to the big one that we need to discuss. Avengers Doomsday. Kind of like Spider-Man Brand New Day. It's either gonna be amazing or a clusterfuck. There's no way this movie will just be okay.
Do you not
Like,
think
there's no
so?
way.
Because I
Like,
think it will be so imbalanced with good scenes and bad stuff that it will be just okay. Like it will
I
fall
don't
in
know,
that
man.
line.
I think there's a lot of signs pointing to this being better than we expect. And with better, I don't mean like a fucking masterpiece or whatever, but like an entertaining movie, which this is all it needs to be. It doesn't need to be a fucking masterpiece of whatever. Like, it just needs to, like, okay, so I have a list of things that I think, can get us a little bit more excited about this movie. So, for one, like we said,
Yeah.
everyone is coming back. Like, everyone. And I don't know if that's a good thing or not, but I am interested in seeing all these characters clash in some way.
Yeah, I
Uh,
guess.
I
Go
mean,
on.
the fun of these Avengers movies, right, is precisely this. It's having all these characters converge and interact in fun ways. And we haven't had a big team up movie with legacy characters in a very long time. So I mean, the movie might be horrible story wise, but I feel like those interaction and those moments where the characters do stuff together will all hopefully still be fun. So we
Yeah.
still have that to look forward to.
But if it doesn't make sense or the story is rubbish to get us to each of those scenes, I don't think it'll hold the same value and weight.
Oh, you want things to make sense? Sorry, then I have to scrap that. that
Because I felt and I worry that this will be how I felt about Deadpool and Wolverine. You
yeah,
know, when you're first watching it and when you're at the cinema, you see the Gambit, cameo, you see Blade and you see Elektra, and in that moment it's good and you're excited and you're enjoying the interaction. But then as
yeah,
soon as it moves on to the next scene, it's like, actually that was all just superfluous. It didn't really matter. And then on rewatch
yeah.
on rewatch Deadpool Wolverine, those cameos didn't work for me
Oh my
at all.
god, Deadpool and Wolverine on a second,
It's
on a
awful
rewatch
on a
is
second watch.
horrible.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying. That movie, it was fun at the theater, whatever. It's very forgettable once you get out of that. But like, it's a Sean Levy movie. That's the guy who made Free Guy, for fuck's sake. While here we have the Russo brothers
Yeah,
returning.
these are the guys that made the Electric State, for fuck's sake.
Okay, so I know that the general opinion on the Russos has changed a lot since Endgame, and they've done very forgettable stuff since, like you mentioned, the Electric State, the Gray Man, and so one could say they've lost it or they've never had that good thing to begin with. But I'd argue they are that good uh, as directors, but they are good at a very specific thing. Because if you look at their contribution to Marvel, they have made some of the best Marvel movies out there. They've
Yeah,
done
yeah,
Winter
yeah. No,
Soldier,
I agree.
probably still the best non-Avengers movie in the franchise. Civil War, which is a bit of a clusterfuck, sure, but some of the most hype moments in the
Oh,
series.
I
And
love
again,
it.
like like the interactions between Cap and Tony Stark, and the ending battle, like that stuff works, and it's still very rewatchable. Like I've rewatched those movies like at least 10 times,
Oh yeah, yeah,
and
easily.
they're still very fun. So it then do not just rely on, oh my god, that's Gambit, how quirky. um
Well,
then
exactly. Can they weave them into the story other than just because there's so many, I just don't know how the fuck they could do it
But
other than
Civil
just
War, look at Civil War. They introduced Black Panther, they introduced Spider-Man, and it was a bit forced in that movie, but and then they were forced to introduce it like very late in the game and
but they
whatever,
but they
like there's a bunch
fucking
of
execute it perfectly. Like
they did it.
Black Panther has never been as good as he was in the Russo's movie.
That's the best we've seen of Black Panther was in Civil War. Cap and Bucky. Okay, Infinity War, arguably the best Marvel movie with very few duds. Like I've rewatched this movie like probably the most out of all of the time,
Yeah,
all of them, and there's a couple of jokes here and there that don't land, or have aged poorly, some weird product placement, whatever. But other than that, it's a solid superhero adventure that focuses on the villain and makes him this iconic force of evil and just
they
like
make
incredible.
the Russos make Thor like one of the coolest superheroes that's ever existed.
Thor is probably the best he's ever been in that movie, and
Yeah, for
immediately the
sure.
worst he's ever been in the following movie.
Yeah,
So
I
like,
know.
Doctor Strange is finally cool in Infinity War,
Yeah,
and
he's
he
great.
wasn't
Yeah, yeah,
before.
best like one of the best like on-screen superhero fights you'll ever see is him versus Thanos. That was amazing.
Dude, there is so many incredible moments in that film. They managed to get everyone something meaningful to do, which is not easy. Even characters like Wanda and Vision get to shine. So like it's a solid movie. And then they did Endgame, and Endgame is a strange one because it has a lot of problems, like way more than Infinity War.
Oh my
But
God, yeah.
also, it's such an emotional climax. It just works so well, like in so many moments. It never fails to bring me to tears, like at the end. So like like it's still a very watchable movie, even though it has a bunch of issues. So my point is, what is my point? Why am I why am I trying to convince you like I am paid by Disney? So like I think like this scenario that I just laid out gives us a pretty clear idea of what the Russos bring to the table in terms of like directing, right? Like maybe they're not the best directors out there. Like when they're dealing with original stories, see Electric State, for example, and they're trying to make a new character memorable or unique, they fail. But when they are working with within the confinements of a pre-established universe, like with clear guidelines and character bibles and hours of movies to pull from, they excel. Like when they have a playground to work with, like with rules and trajectories that they are established by a larger writing room, right? They know what they're doing. So like I'm confident, and I know how this sounds, but I'm confident they will know like what moments to put there. Like it's gonna be, fun servicey for sure. Like maybe it's a bit cheap in parts. We're gonna get a little reunion between Tom Holland and evil Tony Stark, and it will be awful. But that's what they know that we want to see. They know to put that in there, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
These big character moments are what we tune in with these movies for, I think.
yeah, and we will get a lot of those. It seems like Doomsday will be like an iteration of, Doctor Doom kills the Marvel universe and he's
Yeah,
popping into different
resets it.
dimensions. He'll go into the Fox universe. He'll kill everybody. Maybe some of them survive. Ready for a team up for Secret Wars or whatever. But he'll just be popping around to each of the different properties and franchises and characters and just murking them, I imagine. Which, like, hey, like that could be good. That could be good.
It sounds fun servicey, but honestly, I think for a movie like this, it's fine to be fun services. Like I mean, that's the whole point of an Avengers movie. It's smashing action figures together. It's
As long
being
as they
nerdy.
treat it
Yeah,
seriously, because
yeah,
because yeah, I don't want to just see hit Tony Stark as Doctor Doom wiping out fucking beloved X-Men characters that we don't want to see get killed, and then Yelena surviving and just being like, oh god, what a hard
now
day.
I am the leader.
What a hard day that was. Like I will fucking want to shoot myself in this theater if that is where we go.
I think they've learned their lesson, man. Like, they got so much shit for Factor in Endgame and like all the funny stuff in following movies. They know their audience now, and I think they don't want to mess it up, so they will only put there what it's necessary. And I don't know, man. I feel like I just want to go and be nerdy in a theater with 400 other nerds.
Yeah.
And it's been a while since I've done that.
Do you know what would be such a, which would win, the audience over straight away, is you have your opening action set pieces, Doom fucking up the Thunderbolts.
They just die.
Eviscerating all the Thunderbolts. Or and then he goes for the Marvels next.
More like the old Avengers.
Yeah, it genuinely would. I'm not just joking.
No, they need to, like Thanos in Infinity War, he beats up the Hulk, and now we know his business. Like, you need a scene like that, and I think that scene might be him wiping out the Kang Council if they manage to get that. I don't know, but who cares about Kang?
That would be weird. Everyone's forgot about Kang. General audiences would be like, who? What?
Who? But yeah, no, I am excited, and you can do nothing about that, man. You cannot get me.
I never can, man. I never can.
Even if you try so hard. But honestly, I often go to the cinema, you know that. I often watch big blockbuster movies on the big screen. But even with something like Avatar 3, where my theater was absolutely packed, it was full the day I watched it, that weren't that many reaction during the film. People were kind of passively watching it. They were enjoying it, sure, probably, I don't know, but they were not screaming at the screen. And I'm not one to advocate for that kind of behavior in a cinema.
Never go to the cinema with Tommy. He's unbearable.
I frown upon popcorns for most movies because it's annoying to hear the chewing in the quiet moments. I don't usually even get those, but the Marvel movies are the exception for me. I feel like, we've been to a few together. The vibe, people are fucking screaming and getting excited.
It's
grabbing Thor's hammer in Endgame.
It's fun. It's endearing. Even it can be frustrating when you miss subsequent pieces of dialogue because everyone's still shouting. But there is an endearing element, and it's part of the experience of going to cinema and watching these movies.
I'm not saying every movie needs to be that, but I think a movie like Doomsday, it needs that energy in the theater.
There will
be memorable.
There will be. Just with the toys that they have at their disposal, they're guaranteed to be moments like that. Whereas whether it's seeing a evil Cap version, or I'm sure there's going to be cameos galore of the people that we don't even know, maybe fully CGI characters from the further Marvel roster of heroes and villains. Yeah, I hope so, man. I hope so. But I think, we've said this before, the main problem for me with this one is no setup for the villain. At least with Thanos, we had the setup of all the years of
big problem.
Infinity Gems, and then the scenes with actual Thanos in them. And whether people are going to take to just a variant of Tony Stark, because that's basically what it is, being Doctor Doom. And if those things don't take, then the movie's going to really struggle. But if they do, then I think it'll be a fun time.
For now, that's all from me, your Marvel enjoyer, your Marvel shill, I guess.
Yeah, Marvel shill's appropriate, I think.
Until next time, thanks for listening, and welcome to the cult.
Peace, guys.